I'm best-selling author Brian W. Smith, and you're watching Amplified Exposure Live with Teresa B. Let's get it. Keep shining, let it shine like a diamond. Keep shining, let it shine like a diamond.
What's up, Facebook and everybody else in the world? This is your girl, Teresa B, coming to you live and direct from Amplified Exposure Live. Today, I have my wonderful guest, Mr. Richard Shaw Jr. He's not only the most dopest saxophonist that I've heard of on the planet Earth, but he also came on today because he's just cool like that and he likes me. So for those of you that are out there in La La Land, TV Land, Roku Land, listen up. We have 30 minutes of some good stuff. We're going to learn about Mr. Shaw right now on my show, Amplified Exposure Live. How you doing, Mr. Shaw?
I'm fantastic. I love the intro.
Listen, I have been up for days doing magazines and books and everything else, and I have not had any sleep. So please excuse me if I have the sleepy eye on you. But we're going to get to the good stuff. We're going to find out everything that there is to know about Richard Shaw Jr. Spirit fingers. Good to have you on my show today. I'm glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to me. This is a blessing and an honor, and I am blessed and privileged to meet you. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. Let the audience know a little bit about you, like how you got started, at what age.
Yes. So I tell people I was born at a very young age, and most people get that when they go home, they're traveling home. But anyhow, I am a native of Atlanta, Georgia. I was born and raised there. And I really got started in my mother's womb. You know, she would share stories about how when I was in her womb, whenever she played music, I would jump. That's the only time I would jump. When she played music, I would literally jump in her womb. So I believe that was kind of a foreshadow or a hint to what I would be doing in the future.
Okay. So mama had the music popping for the belly to jump, huh?
Yes.
So did she tell you what kind of music that she played, which got your attention? Was it any kind of music or?
Well, she played primarily gospel music. So she was a gospel artist herself. She was known as the Mahalia Jackson, and it's said that they were distant cousins because Mahalia Jackson, my mom is a Jackson from my grandfather, so they sound identical. And she was very, very, she was a Mahalia Jackson fan, and so she would listen to gospel music and I would jump, and she would just, that was one of the things that she did on a daily basis, listen to gospel.
Wow. So I'm wondering, as you were born and she continued to listen, was that also something that like was soothing for you? Did it make you go to sleep? Because I know for me, my mom always told stories about playing Aretha Franklin.
Oh,
And
wow.
she said I would go to sleep to Aretha Franklin songs. So did those traits continue even after birth?
I believe after birth, it continued, but it was more so of, I believe for me, was more of enjoyment. When she played music, I would smile and, it would cause me to be cheerful. But I don't really remember a time where she played it when I was going to sleep. But that's not to say she did not.
Okay. Are you an only child by any chance?
So I have two older sisters. They are much older than I. So I'm kind of like the mistake baby, as they say. My mom was actually on birth control, and she was 42 when she had me. So it was like the doctors already told her she wouldn't have another child. So I was kind of that surprise miracle baby, so to speak.
Miracle Baby. Yeah, the Miracle Baby that came out with music. Isn't
Yeah,
that wonderful? So at
yeah.
what age did you start getting into music to where you thought that the saxophone was the best thing for you? Or did someone choose that for you?
Well, at the age of 10, I remember going to a Boy Scouts outing, and we were setting up our tents. It was about 15 of us. And my Boy Scout leader or troop leader at the time, he had his radio, the battery radio, and he was just playing arbitrary music. Next thing I know, I heard this sound. It was very distinct, very beautiful. I was like, who and what is that? And over and told me, he said, this is Kenny G. I was like, Kenny G, who is that? So when I went home, I did research on who Kenny G was because I never heard of him. And Teresa, when I found out who he was, that was the beginning of an incredible mental journey for me. Um, so it started initially mentally and spiritually in my mother's room, mentally at the age of 10, and then physically at the age of 14 when my mom actually bought my horn, both of my parents.
Wow. And you fell in love with it as soon as you got it, I'm sure.
Yes. It was love at first hear and love at first sight.
Yes. So, did you actually get lessons, or was it something that you started doing by ear?
Yes, I did receive lessons around the second year of playing. So my first year was kind of finding my way. I was involved in my church band at the time. And after about, I would say 6 to 8 months, I got involved with my public school marching band.
Okay. Okay. Marching band. Wow. Now you know that's when you're in the South, when it's
Yeah.
the marching band. Because up north, we didn't have no marching bands.
What?
No, we just had a football team and barely had cheerleaders.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so marching bands are definitely a Southern thing, but I enjoy listening to them because I actually went to a HBCU, so I got into,
Nice.
got into bands after that. So, do you have any recorded music with your saxophone, or is this just something that you travel from place to place and actually have concerts and things of that nature?
Yes. So I do have recorded music. My first album entitled The Seasons of Life, I actually recorded that as a teenager. So I was so proud of that album. We did over 5,000 copies within the first 2 months. And that was just me selling them, as Master P say, in my trunk. Uh, so that was very fun. And then my second album is entitled "You Are My Everything," and
Okay.
please "Believe Again," which is my most recent album. That "Believe Again" is like my whole life story, and I'll talk about that a little later. So that's my third album, and then I release two singles: the nursery rhyme anthem for
Mm-hmm.
children, and
Mm-hmm.
then I release "Passion," which we did a live video in Grand Canyon, Sedona. That live video is on YouTube. It was beautiful. Everything there you see is live.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned that one of your albums was inspired by some things that was going on in your life. At a young age, the very first album, was that inspirational from a particular theme or anything that you heard or passed by?
Yeah. So the seasons of life, that particular album, I named it The Seasons of Life because each season I tried to have a song that relates to that season. So if you notice on the album, I have like Lift Every Voice and Sing, We Shall Overcome for the month of February, or Black History Month. I have the Star Banner for July 4th. I have some Christmas songs. I have some love songs for Valentine's. It's just like a big seasons of life. You know, it goes through each season. And I wanted to also show the audience at the time my creativity, and also being diversity, showing diversity in what I was playing and what I'm doing as a performer. So that's how that whole concept came with the Seasons of Life.
That is awesome. So I actually know of a female artist. Her name is Michelle Brooks Thompson. They call her the Star Spangled Banner Lady because she actually performs at games and football games, basketball. You know, that would be really dope if she had a saxophone in the background. I'm just saying. I'm hooking you up with more gigs. I'm thinking about how I could connect this thing. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that offset. But yeah, it's amazing how people can come up with these themes from songs that we've had for hundreds and so many umpteen years, and still create hits, still create based upon how you put it together, other people listening to your music over and over again, even though it's the same song that we've heard before, but your special touch makes it happen. So what would you say, what is it about your music that makes you so unique from the set apart from the others?
That's a great question. I would say that when people ask me, I get this asked often, you know, well, what style of music do you play? What genre? And honestly, I don't like to say what genre or what style because it puts you in a box, if you know what I mean. If I say I'm a jazz artist, then that's all you view me as. If I say I'm an R&B artist, that's the only thing you view me as. But with my music, I tell people that my music is a bridge. It's a bridge from heaven to earth. And I'm just a conduit that, you know, God has blessed me with the gift to be able to transcend regardless of race, religion, creed. I have Japanese fans, Asian fans. My music speaks for itself, so I don't put it in a box, but I will say it is a bridge, BRIDGE. It's beautiful, it's rich, it's intellectual, it's definitely delightful when you hear it. It's godlike, and it's excellence. You know, that's my acronym for bridge for my music and what it stands for.
Wow. And may I ask how old you are? Because you have the intellect of like a 50-year-old, and I know you're not that old.
No, I'm not 39.
35?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I
39.
can't even 39. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because you know you're very, very articulate, and very well spoken, and so that's a good thing, especially in the field that you're doing with music. So, is this a full-time career for you, or is this like just something that you do as a hobby, or how do you go
So,
about it?
yes, it is a full-time career. I transitioned from corporate America in 2019, August 30th to be exact,
Mm-hmm.
and never looked back. Um, it's funny how the whole pandemic scene took over in 2020, and I had just released, or you know, I told God, I had a conversation with God and just let him know, you know, what I'm doing here, I have a skill for it here. in the banking industry. I was a loan officer at the time, but I always knew that wasn't for me. And I'll never forget, God told me, he said, Richard, it's time for you to go. At first, I was hesitant because I'm like, God,
what's going on, God? What you talking about?
right. I need the funds. This is how I make a living, and I need to have some security. And what he showed me is that having a job is not security. He revealed to me having a gift with great character is security, because nobody can fire you from your gift. The only person that can fire you from your gift is you and your character.
Right.
You look at amazing, R. Kelly, amazing, like he's still one of my favorite artists, but his character took away that gift.
Right.
So I share with people, when you have a gift from God, nobody can fire that. That's the greatest security you ever have in your life. Now, I don't knock jobs. I'm just up on opportunities. I'm up on you actually finding what your purpose is and you walking fully in it, because your obedience today, I tell people, is somebody else's promise tomorrow. When you're in complete alignment of your purpose, then others benefit from it. So I know I said a mouthful, but 2019 is when I transitioned from corporate America to going full time in music, and it's been an absolute incredible blessing.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, I tell you what, it probably was the best move you've ever made, because this music thing is meant for you, right? So have you traveled? So you told me earlier, Offset, that you're originally from the Atlanta area.
Yes.
And I'm also in the Atlanta area. So
Nice.
I go.
Really?
Yes. Yes, I'm also in the Atlanta area. So I go out to see different musicians, anything indie. I try to be there and support. And I bring my crew to try to, get some footage so we can kind of help promote with social media and things of that nature. So if ever you're doing something in Atlanta, please let me know, because I would love to come out and hear you wherever you are. But with that being said, do you often travel a lot outside of the area? Have you been outside of the country with your music, or how has that worked for you?
Yeah, so right now, I would say 60% of all of my engagements are here locally in Georgia. I actually have a big jazz festival, if you're available, on this Saturday. It's called Jazz in the Alley in North Cross, Georgia. It's going to be over 1,000 people there. But my full band, we're performing. But 40% is out of state. So we do travel out of state. I just got back from Ohio. Pittsburgh, I played for a wedding up there. We're looking to travel to an island next door to Aruba in September. So I'm doing international trips as well.
Okay. So I wish I could attend Saturday. I'm having guests from out of town. I'm originally from Boston, so I have some family coming down from Boston, and they're coming for another event, a church event. So I don't know how I would balance the two, but I still want the information when we finish talking here, and maybe I can share it with other people. If you have like a flyer or something, I could put it out there for you. But that's excellent. I am so honored to know you. So out of all your travels, everywhere you've been thus far, what was your favorite place?
I would say my favorite place so far, that's tough. But if I had to pinpoint, I would probably say Las Vegas. I had an opportunity to play for Trump Tower in the penthouse.
Okay.
So that was Yeah, I would say that has been my favorite this year.
Did you go by and see Usher while you was there?
I didn't didn't get a chance.
I ask everybody that question when they say they've gone to Vegas. I'm like, did you go see Usher? Like, but yeah. So Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas, the city of craziness. I went there for, well, I'm not gonna tell you my age, but I went there for a birthday one year, and yeah, it's a lot going on in Vegas. It's a lot going on. So that was a great honor to be there at with Trump's entourage or whatever he has going on there. I didn't even know he had a facility there where you could perform. What do you remember what area it was in? Because
Yeah, so it was at his hotel, but it was a private event. It didn't have, well, Trump himself wasn't there, but it was a private event in the largest penthouse suite,
okay.
and basically just had me to perform. I was like the icing on the cake, like live entertainment for a private group of people.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. So growing up in Atlanta, because um I know how it could be. My son is, I have a child that's currently in school here, and it's a lot of pressure for musicians because he likes to play the drums and the piano. So he's a little different from the other students. Tell me how that was. What was that like growing up here, dealing with trying to build your craft and also having that peer pressure?
Well, honestly, the so this is what happened. In the eighth grade, when I entered into high school, I began to play, and I remember marching band was everything. Okay, so you had two top activities at school that made you popular. Okay, either you were involved in the band with music or you were involved in sports. I
Right.
chose, of course, music. And I remember being in the eighth grade, and Teresa, I got picked on, ostracized. It was really unfortunate because I just started playing, and you
Mhm.
would think that I had been playing for 5 years, the way they were really like picking on me, like I should be playing at this high level. So anyhow, long story short, I remember going home that year, and I said, you know what? I'm going to practice, and I'm going to practice every day, and I'm going to practice every day for the rest of my life. Now, have I missed some days? Yeah, but every day I pretty much have mentally, even if I didn't touch my instrument physically, I did touch it mentally. And I
Mhm.
remember during that period of time, that very next year, I came from last chair. It was about 22 saxophone players. So I
Mhm.
was 22nd chair. And the following year, I moved to second chair. Now, the reason why I was in second chair was because the band director made qualifications to where only section leaders can sit in first chair.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I understand that. But I used that particular incident to really push me. So peer pressure wasn't really a thing for me. If anything, the peers ostracizing me was a turning point for me, to where I used that as fuel to really
Mhm.
become great. So I was
Wow.
so big on this path of focus. I was definitely one of those high school students that was more focused than a lot of other high school students at the time. And I just used that. So I really didn't have peer pressure the way peer pressure come across for other high school students.
You know why? Because their hateration was your motivation.
That's it. That's it.
I could be a poet when I want to be. I'm just saying. But that is an awesome story. I'm definitely going to share that with my youngest, and I'm also going to let him watch this video because that is one of the main reasons why a lot of students put the instrument down because of peer pressure. My oldest child, who's actually 25 now, he picked up the
Wow.
saxophone for a couple of years and put it down because of peer pressure, and he decided to become an athlete. So
Okay.
I do know that it's out there. So I some told me to ask that question. Some. But yeah, but that you're showing your leadership skills. That was the first clue that you were going to be as great as you are today. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank
Kudos to you. So has it passed down from generation to generation? You had your mom with the music and now you with the music. Do you have small children?
I have a 7-year-old son and I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Okay. And has it passed along your...
They're still trying to find themselves. I'll put it that way. My daughter is more interested in entrepreneurship, and my son, he's kind of all over the place. He enjoys music. We have a piano at the house, so he plays the piano now almost every day, and he plays his drums. But we're really still trying to figure out what he wants to do.
Okay, well, he has time. He has time. You get a little time. Not that much. A little time.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell your fans or anybody out there about upcoming events? But I know you told me about what's going on Saturday, but is there anything else you'd like to announce while you're here?
I would just say, you can follow us on Instagram under Richard Shaw Jr., Facebook as well. We have a YouTube channel under Richard Shaw Jr. So every social media platform, you'll find it under Richard Shaw Jr. My website is www.richardshawjr.com. And just stay tuned for more music. We definitely have some more original music coming your way. And I'm super excited about what's to come. And future events, live shows, all that information will be posted on my website and social media platforms. And thank you, Teresa, for having me.
Oh, anytime. This is what I do for a living. This is what I do. I like to promote from indie on up, like whatever you have going on, I am there. I want to be there and I want to hear about it because 10 years from now, we're going to watch this video and you're going to be a superstar. And I'm be like, I know him. I interviewed him. You're a superstar already, though. But I'm just saying, like, on the Beyonce level, you can be hanging out with her or somebody like that. But I'm putting it into your life, predicting your life already, right?
Yes.
You got to speak it into existence. I do appreciate you. We also need to tell the audience about you being in the Heat Seekers magazine.
Yes.
For the July-August issue. I had a chance to interview Mr. Shaw, and he sent me some really nice photos. I got him looking all spiffy and stuff in the magazine. So I can't wait for you to see it. It's actually being released today. So how about that? We're interviewing today on Amplified Exposure and the magazine comes out today. So I can't wait for you to see it. But again, it's been such a pleasure. It's been such a thrill talking to you today. Give everybody your website information again and contact in case they might want you to perform at a wedding, or do they also go through your website for that?
Yes. So my website, again, is www.richardshawjr.com. And we have an inquiry link where you can actually tap on that to get more information about booking. And then once again, the social media platforms is under my name, Richard Shaw Jr.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So when I get married again, I'm gonna go to your website and ask for you.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for being here today. God bless you. God bless you and your family, all your future endeavors, and all that you do. Tell everybody bye.
All right. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.